So our shop not only specializes in Toyota, but the bulk of us here actually own and drive them. That being said, I'm going to go through some numbers that I just recently did that can show that buying a Toyota may not actually be the best financial decision you can make. So it's time to update our fleet of loaners. We do loan vehicles. We have a fleet here that we loan our customers as they bring their vehicle in for repairs. We've got a mix of Honda Civics, we've got a couple Kia Optimas, we've got some Grand Caravans that are aging out, and we've even got some Chevy two-wheel drive trucks. Not only do we use it as a courtesy to our customers, but we obviously use a little bit of our marketing dollars as well, and we're just kind of looking to have a little bit more clear marketing message out there, since how we work on all makes and models, but we really focus in on the Japanese models, specifically Honda and Toyota, we're very well known for. So we're really kind of wanting to update some of these vehicles to some newer Hondas and Toyotas. Nothing worse than somebody dropping off their newer Toyota 4Runner to me because we're known as the guys that know Toyota better than anybody, and then we pull around Grand Caravan for them, and then they're kind of confused. They're like, wow, this guy that claims to know my 4Runner better than anybody, he's rocking a Dodge Caravan. It kind of sends mixed signals. So we're going to run through some numbers here in a little bit, where I've really been looking at the numbers of buying any vehicle, but specifically Toyota and Honda. So obviously I'm looking to mostly replace right now my Grand Caravans and my Chevy pickup trucks. We'll probably go with Honda Civics because I've already got some, or Toyota Camrys. In our area, looking at the numbers, we're really actually kind of leaning towards the Toyota Camrys. They're a good car. I like the way they drive, I like the way they look, and they're kind of fitting the budget that I have to be able to buy 4 or 5 of them. So when I was doing my original research over what vehicle to buy, kind of what year range I should buy, it kind of led me down a path where, for tax reasons and many reasons, the next vehicles I buy, I'm gonna use them for about 6 years is kind of where I'm trying to fit the expense in. So we're gonna take a 6-year span. I'm factoring in what I'm initially gonna buy them for, what I'm likely going to sell them for 6 years from now, and obviously all the content we're bringing you is from a standpoint of I've been here at this shop for 30 years, so we're always talking to you with our content of an angle of the auto repair shop world. So of course we factored in repair and maintenance costs as well. So I own the place, I'm using my money to buy it, but I also have a team that I value, their opinion. I want them to see that I am making good decisions with our money. So I did all the research so I can kind of share, so I can feel like I'm making good buying decisions, but also I like to show my team that I'm being financially responsible with all the money that they help me earn, that I'm not just out there willy-nilly buying whatever I want. It's important to me to make good decisions. So as we get into the numbers, these are real numbers, real research I did as a guy that's owned a shop for 30 years of what I'm going to buy. So let's get into it. So if I buy 2023 lightly used models, it's a no-brainer in my area to buy Toyota Camrys. There's an abundance of them for sale, a little less than 20,000 miles. Average price is about $25,000. That seems to be right in the sweet spot, kind of a no-brainer right here. We're Layton, Utah. There's a lot for sale, so Camrys right in that range are making sense to me at the moment. So for comparison to the Toyota Camrys, I was actually going to do a comparison using Kia Optimas because I own a couple. I think I bought a couple 2016s back quite a while ago. They don't make the Optima anymore. I think they moved it to a K5. So instead, we did comparisons using the Hyundai Sonata, very similar size vehicle, options and everything. 2023 lightly used Hyundai Sonatas in my area. There's a decent amount available. Same pricing, about $25,000 buys you a 2023 Camry or a 2023 Hyundai Sonata in our area. So then I went 3 years older to say, okay, after 3 years, how much money do I lose by owning this vehicle? 2020 Camrys in my area are selling for $21,000. In comparison, the Hyundais are selling for $18,000 if you just go 3 years older. The next thing I did is I went 6 years. So I went another 3 years, 2017 Camrys in my area, average price is $16,000. In comparison, the Hyundais with similar miles of about 85,000 miles, I can buy for about $10,000. So you're noticing the gap is changing quite a bit as the vehicle gets older. So now let's do some math together. It's kind of simple math at this point. So my initial cost to buy the 2023 Camry, $25,000, right? Resale price in 6 years will be $16,000. So it'll likely cost me $9,000 to run this Camry for the next 6 years. My customers usually borrow my vehicles and rack up the average miles about 12,000 miles a year. And now this is just purchase price and resale price. This isn't repair and service costs yet. Let's compare that to the Hyundai Sonata. So my initial cost to buy the Hyundai Sonata is the exact same. It's $25,000. Resale price in 6 years will be $10,000. So not factoring maintenance and repairs, it'll cost me $15,000 to own the Sonata for 6 years. Same thing, customers driving about an average of 12,000 miles a year. Owning the Camry for 6 years, $9,000, $15,000 to own the Sonata for 6 years. To me, if I'm gonna buy vehicles in the $25,000 range, it's a no-brainer. Of course, I'm gonna buy the Camry, and it's gonna be a better car. We all know that. I don't think there's many that are gonna argue that they're gonna buy the Hyundai because it's a better car. We all know the Camry is a better built vehicle, and it just makes financial sense if I'm buying a $25,000 car to buy the Toyota Camry. Now that was all the math based on if somebody's buying a car in the $25,000 range. I haven't always been in that dollar range. As a matter of fact, it still makes me a little bit nervous to spend that kind of money on sedans to just loan out. So let's do the math of slightly older vehicles. This is where you remember the title of the vehicle is why it might not make financial sense to buy a Toyota. Obviously, if you're buying newer, I firmly believe that is the thing you should do. Now, if you're buying older, this is where we get into the math of it maybe not making sense. So let's go back to the 17s. So let's average price in my area to buy a 2017 Camry, about 85,000 miles. Right now is $16,000. Average price for the same year, 2017 Hyundai Sonata with similar miles, $10,000, right? So there's about a $6,000 gap in buying those two vehicles. So basically that $6,000 difference, 60% higher purchase price to buy a 7-year-old Camry instead of buying a 7-year-old Hyundai. Is it worth paying 60% more for a Toyota? I haven't gotten into maintenance and repair yet. I think this would probably be a good place to do that. Once again, the angle I'm always coming from is we do auto repair, we do service, we see all your vehicles coming in and out of the shop. We see who gets the most surprise, ugly repair bills. We see the people that pay for maintenance. You know, we kind of factor all those things in. So we get asked quite often, hey, what vehicle should I buy? Or hey, I'm getting ready to buy my wife, or I'm getting ready to buy my kid a vehicle. We get asked those questions a lot, and we can usually answer it with 30 years of knowledge of seeing these cars coming in and out. To be honest, maintenance costs between the Camry and the Hyundai Sonata, very similar. Brakes, tires, fluids, there's really not much difference. Now, repair-wise, that's where the biggest argument can be. Maintaining your car, whether you buy a Hyundai Sonata or a Camry, maintaining it, just keeping it safe to go down the road, going to be very, very similar. The difference is going to be our Hyundai owners get that big, nasty, catastrophic failure a little bit more often than a Toyota owner. You know, you're more likely to lose a major component like an engine or a head gasket or a transmission component or something. Our data shows there's a lot more big repairs on Hyundai than there is big repairs on Camrys. Our numbers were skewed a little bit though, because the difference is when our Toyota owners have big repairs, they tend to do it because they love their vehicles. The Hyundai owners actually, we don't do as many big repairs because they decline them a lot because they're not. Toyota owners, we get attached to our vehicles. Hyundai owners, we don't really care about our Hyundai. We just bought it because it was a good deal at the time, typically speaking. So maintenance costs, meaning fluids, brakes, tires, filters, stuff like that, very similar between the Hyundais and the Toyotas. The repair costs though, that's where the biggest argument can be. I think we can all agree if we drive a Toyota for 7 years versus a Hyundai for 7 years, our likelihood of having a big repair is higher if we own the Hyundai versus the Toyota. But is it going to be 60% higher? Is it going to be $6,000 more in repairs to buy the Hyundai for $10,000 versus buying the Camry for $16,000? So we've gone back through all of our repair orders. We track all kinds of things here, going through real data from an auto repair shop. I really wanted to look at catastrophic failures. So a catastrophic failure to me is like a complete engine failure or a complete transmission failure, or basically any repair that exceeds $1,500 cost, not including just, obviously we know we're going to buy tires and brakes and stuff like that, but we went with the $1,500 cost of kind of surprise repairs, things that were kind of unforeseen. Toyota owners, honestly, our Toyota owners tend to want to drive their vehicles longer than Hyundai owners. So Toyota owners are more likely to move forward with major repairs than a Hyundai owner. When we present a Hyundai owner, hey, your engine failed, it's going to be $8,000 to replace it, quite commonly they're like, yeah, let's not do that. I will just go buy a different Hyundai or buy something else. Toyota owners, generally speaking, move forward a little bit more often. They love the vehicle they have. They're like, well, I don't really want to invest in another one. I'd rather invest in mine. So that it was kind of tough to come up with these numbers. I really had to dig into them and kind of look at the declined repairs, approved repairs, to kind of come up with the right data for you. But as a shop owner, as a vehicle owner, I know that there's definitely a higher risk of owning an older Hyundai and driving it for 6-7 years compared to the Toyota Camry. If you have a major, we're going to save $6,000 buying the Hyundai. If we have a major failure, obviously that's going to negate the $6,000. But I would say more often than not, you're still probably, the majority of people are going to come out financially ahead of buying the $10,000 Hyundai versus the $16,000 Camry, just a little bit higher risk. So let's do one last comparison. Because this is actually real world common things. A lot of our customers, they're driving newer vehicles, but I don't think many of us want to put send our kids to college in a brand new vehicle or a $25,000 vehicle. We actually find that a lot of people in our area are bringing us vehicles around the $10,000 mark. So let's do one last comparison. In vehicles, let's just say we have a $10,000 budget, and let's see what makes sense to buy in this area here in Utah for $10,000. So for a purchase price, $10,000 limit, I can buy a 2017 Hyundai Sonata. There's quite a few in our area, about 85,000 miles for that $10,000 range. In order for me to buy a Camry with that same budget, I've only got $10,000, I would likely have to go as old as 2012. So I got to go 5 years older to get a Camry that can fit in my $10,000 budget. Let's talk about that. Would we rather have a 17 Hyundai or a 2012 Camry? What's the likelihood of having higher repair expenses in a shop like ours? So kind of as a recap, I'm buying newer. So I'm buying 2023s, $25,000 for a 2023 Camry, $25,000 for a 2023 Hyundai Sonata. Drive them 6 years with a resale value. It's going to cost me less a good chunk less to own 2023 Camrys as above really buying anything, especially the Hyundais. Now, when it gets older, if you've got all the way back to like a $10,000 budget or something like that, I actually would buy Hyundai or something similar. If I only had $10,000 to spend, I'm going to buy a 2017 Hyundai over a 2012 Toyota Camry. I have found in our repair shop, age gets to vehicles just as much or more than miles. So I would actually, if I was on a tight budget, sending my daughter off to college, I had $10,000 set aside to spend, I would actually send my daughter to college in the 2017 Hyundai versus the 2012 Camry. I know Toyota lovers, you're going to give me a little bit of grief about that. But for me and what I see through the shop, Hyundai and Kia, unfortunately, they've done a pretty good job of catching up. They're still not a Toyota or a Honda, but that 5-year difference, having a 5-year newer car, it's got better safety features. There's lots of reasons why I myself, even as a Toyota and Honda lover, would be putting my daughter, if I had $10,000, my daughter would be going off to college in the $10,000 2017 Hyundai versus the 2012 $10,000 Camry.